All right, we're gonna get started with Disney. Let's talk about Disney first. I had the Nick stuff pulled up first, but we'll go with Disney. I don't know why I pulled the Nick stuff up first. All right. So this is something that, to be clear, I've talked about. And it's really funny because nobody talked about this until the BBC, except for me. I think I was the only one to talk about it. I think Valiant may have brought it up in passing. But I mean, in terms of legal analysis, nobody talked about this. Nobody. But now, because the BBC covered it, and I guess Yellow Flash got on it and people copied Yellow Flash or whatever else it was, everyone was DMing me about this. Oh, Andrew, are you going to talk about this? Andrew, are you going to talk about this? Andrew, are you going to talk about this? Well, to talk about this, I'm going to present to you Andrew from a month ago in a clip that is publicly available on my channel. Look at this guy. Look at his suit. Clearly, the suit speaks authority, right? Let's hear about this from Andrew from a month ago. Is apparently trying to block people from suing for wrongful death. So could Disney Plus derail a wrongful death lawsuit after a woman died at Disney World? So a woman died. So the reason why no one covered this is I was following Florida Politics, and the Florida Politics page that was covering this, and other folks just kind of were waiting for this to be exposed in like very wide national news, right? At Disney World, she was at the Raglan Road Irish pub. This is at Disney Springs for those that haven't been there. She warned the restaurant of her serious food allergies. After the meal, she dropped dead. She collapsed and dropped dead. She had an extreme allergy to dairy and nuts. Right. And so she died of this. So Disney is now trying to block her lawsuit because she subscribed to Disney Plus. I'm not kidding you. So they are trying to say that this woman, because she subscribed to Disney Plus, and because Disney Plus has an arbitration clause that is very broad. And it says, if you have any claim against Disney arising out of anything whatsoever, any claim against Disney, you are compelled to go to mandatory arbitration. That is the most disgusting, horrible perversion of an arbitration clause. And a judge is absolutely going to throw that out. Now, I couldn't have said it better myself. I could not have explained that better myself. And you know what's funny? That was taken in Manila. The shot in Manila doesn't look much different than this hotel room here in Deutschland here. But the facts are the same here. Now, the BBC brought on some British lawyer who I don't know if he understands the law, but he said, "Oh well." It's obviously going to get thrown out because it's Disney Plus. But if she bought a ticket to the park, then that arbitration clause might be used against her. So there was a British lawyer who came out, and Disney didn't make this argument, but some British lawyer just out of nowhere giving Disney ideas said, you know what? There's a park ticket, and because she bought a park ticket and that has an arbitration clause, she is going to be forced into arbitration. So I just want to throw this bullshit out right now. Raglan Road, Disney Springs, is not in the park. You do not have to buy a ticket to go to Raglan Road. I know that may be confusing for some people who perhaps have never been there, perhaps don't even live on the same continent as Disney World, right? But yeah, it's just a restaurant. You can go there. In fact, when I lived in Orlando, I went to Disney Springs quite often, and you never have to use anything there. Now, you can get discounts and stuff. Yes, sure. If you have a annual pass, right, of a certain grade, there's certain discounts and there's certain dining programs and other stuff like that. You can get points and credits and all that sort of, floofy stuff for. But the ticket to the park is not going to cover you for mandating arbitration. That's insane. And it's equally still insane for Disney Plus to try to prevent that. And on top of that, I think that's something other people have mentioned, it's so bad the attorneys should be sanctioned for this. They should be sanctioned for this because these sort of arguments are so bad, they should challenge whether these lawyers should actually practice law. I mean, there's something in terms of advocating for your client, and there's making disgusting legal arguments and hypocritical legal arguments because Disney always wants to try to delay. That's all they want to do. And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. This is part of Disney's comprehensive legal strategy that they use in every single engagement, whether it was with the state of Florida or with this suit or with any of the other suits. They try to throw everything against the wall because they just want to delay because they think they have more money than you and can crush you. They can crush you in expenses and legal bills and lawyers and time, and they're just going to slowball you. They're just going to slowball you. So they're going to make they're going to make the payout take years. So even if you win, you're not going to get that money. You're not going to get that money right away, right? You just run out of money or you run out of time. And you've got to take some sort of settlement. You got to take something else, right? You're not getting what you're asking for. It's Disney's tactic. They do it time and time and time again. Let's see if there's anything else in this BBC article that's worth going over, because frankly, that's a pretty easy rehash there. Once again, this is the article that everybody reviewed. I know Flash and a bunch of other people went on this, a bunch of other lawyers, right? Tried to talk about this. Talking about Jeffrey Piccolo, who filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Disney when his wife died of a severe allergic reaction in Raglan Road. Now, this is where I have a problem, because alleges the restaurant at Disney World, okay, it's in Disney World in general, but it's not inside the parks. So that's why the argument about the parks is kind of weak. Given that this restaurant is either owned or operated by Disney, we're merely defending ourselves against the plaintiff's attorney attempt to include us in the lawsuit against it. So the excuse Disney is saying is we don't operate the restaurant. Well, okay, that might be an argument, but that's not a reason why you make a shitty argument. You don't argue that Disney Plus terms of service are going to get you out of it just because you don't own or operate the restaurant. Also, right, they are the people that place conditions on the restaurant. There's conditions of the lease, right? So Raglan Road is a separate company that leases out that property from Disney. So is there responsibility on Disney? Maybe is there responsibility on their emergency response, et cetera, right? I think Disney is a party that should be in at least preliminarily, and then maybe as they get discovery, they can eliminate Disney at a later point. But that's not the argument they're making, right? Don't make that argument. It's just a landlord, so the restaurant's insurance is liable like them all. Yeah, that's fine. And just say that. Just make that argument. That's a fine argument to make, is that their insurance is the one to pay. Okay, that's fine. And you know what? They're probably right about that. But why are you deciding to make this novel legal argument for absolutely no reason? It's like kicking somebody when they're already down and dead.